something, and that we want to give it back. And thus, our quality of education as a team, as a work, a work that we all do together. My professors are the people who I learn the most from. My professors in the school are the other students who I'm learning from constantly, who critique my work and who put effort into critiquing my work. Now, the quality of education at Cooper Union, I will assure you, is the fact that we get a free tuition, and thus we feel the need to work harder, to make better work and to learn more.
Why do you think we don't get that?
Because he just said the priority was the quality, not the free tuition. He separated the two as if it wasn't part of the same process towards quality. That's why. That's why my confidence is.
There is no, I don't think there's any separation between the quality. We're not going to give up quality and not be free, or be free and not have quality. They go together. Being free is based on merit, and merit the fact that people come in here on merit creates a tremendous level of selectivity. So we know that we have the creme de la creme here, all of us and all of us who have been here before. But when you say that Peter Cooper found a way, one of the ways he found was a tremendous donation from Carnegie. $300,000 at the turn of the century, which was invested in the land on which the Chrysler building now sits. You know, those things are not, you know, it's not just out of air. In addition to the fact that he himself was quite wealthy, he got tremendous resources. We need resources.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that it was Carnegie's donation that made this happen in a sense. It made it possible.
One of the things.
But how did he convince Mr. Carnegie to give the money? First of all, he had to convince him to become a philanthropist in the first place.
That's
and
what we're trying to do now, though.
For you to inspire people, you have to give them
Do
confidence.
you think we're not trying to do that now?
And our model for 150 years has been a free tuition model. It has been to help the people and to make education what it is here. Excellent.
And we're going out there with that same argument today, looking for people. Look, I mean, there are people out there. Bloomberg could turn around in a minute and dig us right out of the hole we're in. You know, maybe it's going to happen. Maybe there's some way of doing it. Maybe there's some other Bloomberg out there who can do it.
But for that, we need the confidence in ourselves within an institution to know that our biggest asset is our tuition model. And the community that we have here. And without that tuition model, we don't have the community that we have today. We will not have it. We will have you will have a lot of protests, and this school will go downhill in a second.
I understand that, but are you really saying, because if you're really saying that it makes everything a lot easier, because this group of people could meet anywhere and teach themselves art, architecture, engineering, and you're saying that is all, I mean, I have a real personal concern about the quality as well as it's all packaged together. But I can tell you, and I came from a family that was not wealthy and would have had to stretch a lot for me to go to college outside Cooper. But I did not apply to this school because it was free, and I didn't go here because it was free. I came because it was a really good school that happened to be free, and that was a big financial relief. And the people that I went to school with, I think, it goes hand in hand. And I know it's a very symbiotic relationship, but I don't want to lose sight of the fact that it is possible to construct a model where it's free, but that's all it is. And I think my concern is alum and in theory representing other alums, and also on this board is that we maintain both of those things, and that we don't commit to something we can't deliver, because I think that's not being fair to you, and it's not being fair to the next year's freshmen in particular, and beyond that.
But secretly there is some kind of commitment, because we keep finding out about things. Like, for example, reading in the New York Times that President Barucha has some plan, or hearing a rumor that something has been put through where certain things will no longer appear on admissions materials. So for the administration to claim that they are seeing both sides or not committing to anything, I think that if the entire administration and Board of Trustees does not strongly commit to a full tuition, merit-based scholarship, it's it can slip away like it has been over the past
So
year.
what does that mean, strongly commit? We are committed to a free education here, and if we can do it. But if we can't do it, what do you suggest we do?
Shut down the school.
Shut down
Shut down the
schools.
schools?
That's a sabbatical.
Okay, that's a good
Figure it
option.
out.
Well,
But,
there are actually really
I thought it was
rational
integrity.
solutions, I felt, in the way forward. I think a lot of us, I couldn't believe that alumni and many students and maybe not many faculty, but had invested that much time in, from my perspective, seemed really logical solutions. And, you know, some numbers make me curious, like, for a while, I understand that 17 million came in donations for this building, 17, and I know that's not continual money, that's like just one punch right there, but I question our priorities if we can raise 17 million for a new building that we maybe actually didn't need, but can't raise that same money, or, you know, I'm sensitive here because you guys are, I'm sure you're trying very hard, but there's just numbers that I'm curious about. My original point, 17 million, I lost my mind.
Maybe the prelude to this conversation is in question, which is it important or desirable for the people in this room that there be a very, very strong structure of trust between the different sections of the school that make up the body of the school? Is it a priority? I mean, the answer to that question, I think, is where all of these problems are, coming out of.
Yeah, we have a broken system. I feel like the alumni don't have the confidence enough to give a lot of the money that this institution needs. But for you to fix that problem, you have to talk to the students. You have to talk to us, and we talk to the alumni. You have to talk to the alumni. This system has to be fixed. There has to be more communication, and we need to raise the confidence within the administrative level that the model that we've been following can be continued.
Alumni giving was 20% before this issue ever came before the world and the public, or you. Alumni was giving 20%. Do you know what the average is for other colleges? 50, 60%. Why is it that we give a free education and then an alumni don't give back? I don't know. I don't have the answer to
I do
that.
have an
It's
answer.
been dramatically increased over this past year, as I'm sure you all know, in terms of people becoming aware of the issues we're dealing with and coming up with some
That's
plans.
a key point. It's actually increased in spite of all the distrust that you portrayed. It went from 20 to 24% last year, which was the highest level in like 8 or 10 years. And so consistently, though, the school has had a way lower alumni giving rate. And it is what it is. I mean, we as alumni have a responsibility to create a model that we can commit to all you all and next year's class and the class after that is going to be something we can stand behind. And so that's what we're trying to find an answer to. But the numbers are what they are, and we have to work inside of those
But
parameters.
what I'm saying is that the language used is so murky. So if you were going to put it in colors, it would be murky gray. It's so convoluted. One day you decide to say the mission statement. One day you change it. So if I see that kind of, it's
Can I
not
jump
stable.
in here?
It's not a stable
A lot of
system.
place we need to go this afternoon. And we've heard a lot of passion, and I appreciate a lot of the comments on the table. Are there people that haven't spoken that would like to be heard before we adjourn?
I have a very basic statement. My name is Rebecca Messina. I'm a senior at art school. The numbers that honestly upset me the most are the dates that I hear about. I know we've talked about rumors circulating, but we met the other night to talk about rumors we have heard and dates were put on the board for ambiguous decision making. I don't know if there's any way to clear that up by issuing some type of statement each month about meetings, what those meetings might be about. Not so we can necessarily bomb them like this, but just to have a more clear base for what is going on. I think that would be a strong way to push the transparency issue. Because we have so many rumors, okay, like all merit-based, the pamphlet, I mean, there was some rumor, I don't know, I've heard November dates, December dates, professors allude to some of them, though they're very careful about what they say. We need to know.
Yeah, I'm happy to tell you. So November, the faculty in all of our three schools degree granting schools are responsible for the degrees, are working very hard with us to come up with solutions that are appropriate to this. And the same solution may not, excuse me, I'll just turn this off, may not apply to all schools. So the engineering faculty, the art faculty, the architecture faculty is very hard work. And that's the focus this fall. November 15th is a date that they're working towards to come up with their notion of how
Who's
the
they?
issue,
They?
well, the faculty of each school sees itself addressing this issue. And the November 15th date is so that for the next board meeting in December, the board has some sense of what the faculty are able to agree on in terms of the model that might be appropriate for each school. So that there's enough lead time for the December board meeting. And the board is, whether the board can actually process all of that in their December meeting, we don't know. Some point after that, probably in the new year, we'll make an announcement about where the board is as a result of all of that, and where we go from there. So November 15th, December 15th board meeting, that's public knowledge. And I'd be happy to clarify that more if you like.
Can I ask about that? So if we want to know the results of those meetings in November and December with the architecture, engineering, and art faculty, should we speak to our respective deans or to you or to whom? Or is there going to be a written statement, like emailed from our deans or from you? I don't know. I just want to know more about it.
Sure, you can speak to your, I think the dean of each school is, the person who would be in the best position to say where these discussions are leading. And as you know, that, for example, in the architecture faculty meeting and the art faculty meeting, there are student representatives. Students are, they're elected, and so there's no secrets there. The School of Art faculty is talking about various programs that they might want to institute. It's not for me to decide, should it be this or it should be that. The faculty of art are the ones who can decide that. Students are in the room for those meetings. Architecture has the same thing. So the dean of each school can certainly sit down with you and say, look, these are some of the things we're thinking about at this time. And completely agreed yet, but that's, these are the things that are in the mix. No program or no educational model can succeed without the support of the faculty. I mean, I'm a lifetime faculty member, and it's clear to me that that can't work. So it has to be that the faculty are engaged, and I'm delighted to say that they are. They are very engaged.
As far as I've heard.
Yes.
Pardon?
I've heard
They're
that
just
they're
as not
not.
as aloof as we are.
Yeah.
Pardon?
That's
Or
what
they're tied to like some sort of like political or bureaucratic like zipper of the mouth. It's very odd actually.
Well, look, I don't, people have, to have any deliberative body, whether it's a group of full-time faculty, or the board of trustees, or one of your own groups, at some point, you have to have opportunities to caucus amongst yourselves, to share your differences, and there are differences within any group, to share your differences without everything being, out there to be ridiculed. I think you need to respect that, and I think the faculty, each faculty needs to have that ability to caucus amongst themselves, just as students need to do that, as well as ways to get together with students and communicate. So both things are necessary.
Talk about quality though. You can't have faculty caucusing if they leave, and that's what our best.
If they're what?
If they leave, that's what our best faculty do. They leave. Yeah.
Why hasn't the board, or why are we meeting with you, and why have you refused requests from Friends of Cooper and requests from faculty to the entire college board?
Why have I refused
Yes,
requests
it's my
to meet with the
understanding
Friends of
that there
Cooper?
was, Friends of Cooper made a formal request to have a meeting with the board of trustees and the administration, and that was refused. Why is that?
That was
If that's
not-
true, why are we
You don't
doing
have the
that?
right facts.
That's what,
So
I mean,
there's a meeting going forward with leaders of the board.
In fact, a date has been set, and terms have been set, so.
an informal meeting with several members of the board, not the entire
Well,
board, or
The
even
chairman of the board, the vice chairman of the board,
I
and the chairman of the
You guys just stand right outside the room. It was easy to ask you in first.
Is that what it takes?
the
Is that what it
chair,
takes? We couldn't have called you up?
This time it
no, the chair, the vice chair, and the
It's that.
chairman of the finance committee.
But we need to formalize a way to communicate with you, otherwise we're gonna be looking and grinning at each other every time we try to get into that place, you know? Let's find a way.
I think
to
the
do it.
formal communications, through the administration, through John Shea, and I think that's the appropriate way to do it.
We've been
Chairman.
forums.
That's
It's
the way
like
that
hitting
we're
a
all
wall.
very tired of.
You know, I think we all,
I'm not looking at you to answer that, like to solve that for us
Yeah, I don't know.
individually, so I'm saying that's the problem.
But I think it's very important to see the distance between you and the president right now. That's what the critical point is. The governance is not just the president. It's your mutual influence with each other. That's what we need to speak to. That distance right there, and the distance between you and me. And we can't do that just talking to him and he'll tell you, oh well, the students are mad because of this, and then we just generalize things and make them appease everyone. I'm not here to be appeased. I am at peace at home when I meditate or whenever I do whatever I do. I'm not here to be at peace. I am here to try to fix things in this community so that we can all work together and make it happen.
That sounds like what we're here for too.
Yeah, great. So why aren't I here sitting with
So,
you every day?
I think, a couple of people mentioned, the issue of communications is what is going to breach or is going to close that gap. Communication is what usually the communication that's available to everybody has been extraordinary. First of all, this is the most open administration. I mean, I've been involved with the Alumni Association for over 25 years, starting with being, president of the Alumni Association and other things. The point is that you've got, if you go on the Cooper website, you can access appointments with both the president and the person who's in charge of finance, DC. There are opportunities to meet with them. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for other than that kind of open communication. It doesn't necessarily have to be a meeting of 50 people in a room. It can be a small group or one-on-one or whatever it is. The access is there. That's what's incredibly important. So, and in addition to which, a lot of information has been frequent. Have you looked at the frequently asked questions and the answers to those?
I've looked at all of that. Great messages about it.
Okay,
So looked at it.
That's a level of communication I think that's extraordinary.
Yeah.
In addition to which, the opportunity to speak directly with the president and with the finance, vice president of finance.
I think that's extraordinary compared to what most institutions would offer the students, but I think it's kind of maybe below par for what we should have. As
Why is it below?
Because it's like, I mean, there's people in the room who have met with John Shedd, and there's, I don't know, Rachel, can you speak? You were in those meetings with John Shedd. I also don't want to.
No.
I'm sorry. But,
I've met with John Shedd, but I'm saying, I'm speaking to you so I can meet with you. I can talk to John Shedd without talking to him, but like I said earlier, it's about this distance between everyone. It's not just John Shedd. John Shedd, I see him almost every day in the elevator. We say hello to each other, and we both know we're working towards, some sort of Cooper in our own way, as a student, as a president. But I don't just want to talk to the president. I want to talk to the board of trustees, and not just me, every student. We all want to be part of the solution.
Well, that's what we're doing now, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is not a formal way of doing it. Just like, you didn't want to step over somebody. I wouldn't want to do that,
Yeah,
Well, why would I wanna
but
do
the
that?
end result of that is pretty positive.
It turned out to be positive because you today were in a good mood, you guys were in a good mood, I was in a good mood. We all turned out to, it turned out to be a beautiful moment, right? We're sharing ideas. But that doesn't happen every day. It's like, it just happened. It was poetic. But let's make poetry into prose. Maybe every day
But
we
just
just live it.
let's look at it this way. It's happening.
It is, but
Okay,
let's
so
formalize.
let's take it from here and move forward.
Well, we all know
Let's
that power.
move forward, let's say when does it happen again?
So let me just say this.
It may not be a question of when it happens again, it's a question of what,
Let me
can it
just
happen
say
next?
that there, let's not forget that institutions operate effectively when there are certain rules that people follow. And we have our rules, and there are opportunities for students to interact with the board. I mean, there's no need, to sigh at this. I mean, this is a fact. I mean, we have student leaders who are elected to meet with the board chairman and the president every single time the board gets together.
Maybe
So I would encourage you all to make sure that those elections have taken place. And the minute we have the full slate on hand, we will arrange a meeting. We have to do this orderly. This isn't mayhem, folks. We were happy to entertain you today, but to host you in this manner today is the right thing to do. But we have to follow a certain procedure, otherwise it'll be mayhem. There's a structure in place, and it's one that we respect, it's one that we hope you will respect. And by the way, we're not unique here at this, okay? So this is how it works.
But the rules have been broken. We're following your lead. You broke the rules by trying to change the mission statement and all these things, and now we're not. The rules have been broken. So if we're in a moment of destabilization, let's create some kind of structure that best reflects what's happening, that best reflects what's happening.
Well, I was just going to suggest maybe that in the framework of the school, as I guess like not-for-profit, like just maintaining a sustainable model so we can get these kids through school, maybe even like not dealing with like it's not a capital venture. Maybe we should reconsider the structure that you speak of, because it seems like the bureaucracy may not be working, and it seems that overall our voices are about like a different kind of communication, because once again, it's a very different school.
Well, all right, so let's have that conversation, but there's a process in place to have the conversation. So respect that, and let's talk about it.
So when do I vote? When do I call my congressman? What do you want me to do? What is the process? Do you have a framework in your structure? Do you have a framework in place?
What's your first name again?
My first name is Mauricio.
Mauricio, all right. Why don't you come and see, why don't you follow me right now, back to the office? We will figure this out. I'd like to know who's elected, and I want to get in touch with them to arrange the next meeting. I mean, it's that simple. Do you have time to do that?
A meeting with the trustees or just with you and the president? Because that I can have anything. There has to be some kind of difference, something more than what we have already. So
Follow me.
let's specify.
We're going to figure
Before
it out.
everybody leaves, in the interest of transparency, I have a personal announcement to make. You will be the first to hear, which is that my life partner Jesse and I will be married on Sunday in Maine.